Sup, you fools? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. Welcome, and once again, welcome to Mattitude, your Eurovision live stream where we're going to discuss the news of the week. Eurovision news, that is. And today, obviously, we're going to focus a little bit more on Albania, but there are other things we talk about, and we will talk about. And today, I am not alone. I have my buddy Calvin here. Calvin is part of the ESC United team. He's a contributor, he is an editor, and he's done podcasts with us in the past. How excited are you about today, Calvin?
I am thrilled. I think Festivali I Kenges might be my favorite NF of the entire Eurovision season. So we peaked kind of early, but I'm super excited.
Yeah, I am too. It just feels like now it's really Eurovision season. Yeah, I mean, granted, we're going to take a break over the holidays, but it feels as now we're really into it. And I could not be more excited. And how this works, as I said, we're going to go through some of the news. And if you guys want to join in, feel free to do so. All you have to do is leave a comment in the chat at ESC United, so I'll know it's there, and I can answer it, because if there's general chatter, we cannot see everything. Calvin and I will both keep an eye on the chat, and that's what we're going to do. So, and at the very end, we'll have a quick open general Q&A session, so you can ask us anything you like, as long as it's appropriate. You know what I mean? So, I see a bunch of... I know, right? We don't want to go into like the... Okay, so first of all, hi, Patrick. Willkommen. Greetings from Belgium, greetings from California, and Calvin, you are in?
I'm in Arizona right now. Greetings from Arizona. Hello, everyone.
Are we in the same time zone right now? Because Arizona doesn't switch.
We are not.
Right now, you're an
I'm
hour ahead
right now. So
okay.
I got an hour of sleep when you told me what time this would be starting.
Good for you. Good for you. And who else is there? Elias Ilonen, hi. Stefan Finish is back. Agrael, Chris Belgium, you're all here. Thank you for joining in, and I think we're gonna start right away. Oh, before we do that, let me just mention one last thing. We're gonna have this Mattitude thing, what we have every week, which you can consider our Albania pre-show. We will be back later tonight, much later tonight, after the Albania national final, if it ever ends. We'll be here to talk about the results, because you never know with them. One person actually got really mad with me in the comments section. I'm like, stop making fun of Albania. You know, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I love Albania Festivali I Kenges, and I will say, don't change.
We roast them with love.
We celebrate them. We roast them with love. I like that even better. It's really because, you know, it's different, and that's why we love it. I don't even want it to change too much. I always tell, like, they should do this and do that, but if they were to do it, I'm like, all right.
They ruined FiK, yeah.
What happened to FiK? All right, so this is what's going on. Let's talk about the first obvious thing. Cyprus picked flippin' Tamta. I did a video yesterday, and the news broke as I was going to bed, because, you know, I live in California, so that was like, great. So I did a video yesterday. So this is the name that has been floating around for 10 years, basically, at least, right? When did you take part again in the national final? I want to say 2007. And ever since, it's always like, is it going to be Tamta this year? Is it going to be Tamta this year? And then in 2019, 12 years later, it actually happened. Your thoughts?
I actually really think Tamta's a compelling performer. Do you remember that song that she released a few years back, Unloved?
Yes.
Yeah, that I quite enjoyed that. I think she can really put together a strong performance. I like that she's kind of this larger than life personality beyond who isn't like sort of there on stage. She is a presence. She is a force, and I am really looking forward to what she puts together. I hope that there is a little bit of a change in direction from 2018, just if for no other reason than to show that Cyprus can do more than one thing.
Yes.
And also because just I think she needs something that's kind of bigger and more complete and more wall of soundy, like Unloved. But yeah, I like her a lot. I'm excited for this choice.
Yes. Now let's play a devil's advocate just for a second here, because Tamta, she's bringing basically almost the same team as last year's Eleni Ferreira's Fuego. Do you think that this could be really more turned into a copycat situation where they just cannot meet the same kind of standard or quality, or people will all, because, you know, people, and I think we're both, or everyone is to a certain extent guilty of that you always compare it to the other song, right? And you always have a little bit more of affection of the other song because you've heard it for so long. You think that could actually work against them if they were go down that route, because it seems like they are.
That is absolutely a risk. I was actually lying awake last night thinking about, like, when was the last time that someone won by really using what second place taught them?
Yes.
And there is always that risk. And especially since Fuego came first and is well liked enough within both the fan community and the public at large, there's always the risk that people will be comparing it to Fuego, which is why I want them to move and maybe think of trying something else.
Yes.
With her. So yeah, I definitely think there is a risk of that, and I hope that they do right by her and sidestep.
Yes.
Being a copycat of Fuego.
Yeah, the good thing is
accusations of being a copycat of Fuego.
Accusation, yes, because just because it's an upbeat song doesn't mean it's a copycat, because it's not like Eleni invented upbeat music. We only had ballads until last year. The dance song. So I get it, So
come to my show.
How dare you have that kind of beat? Now I know we make a cartoon out of it, but it is true. People tend to think like that song Fuego was a fantastic dance song. I can see why people loved it, right? But it did not invent a style. So I'm trying to hope. From what we're hearing, it's going to be a bop, right? It's going to be a banger. It's going to be an upbeat song, from what I'm hearing. I'm just hoping that they're going a different route. Because you can have different styles with upbeat songs. But she was able to hear the song, like listen to the song before she decided whether or not to actually represent Cyprus. It wasn't like, here's the song, shut up. It was so she listened to it, and she had a few days to decide. Then she recorded her own version, and then she decided, yeah, I'll do it. So you think that's probably a good choice going that
is a good sign.
Yes, because I'm always worried that when people just throw a song at a person, here, sing this, there is a disconnect, right? You need to find the right song for the right performer. And that's what I don't like. We're going to talk about Spain in just a second, how you just write a few songs and hopefully the song will resonate with the singer and the people. I'm like, that is dangerous to me. Would you agree?
I absolutely would agree. I think, and I'll talk a little more about this when we get to Spain too, that it's not enough to have both a great song and a great performer. You need the match, and there have been countless cases where there just hasn't been a match between a song that should work and a performer that should work at Eurovision. And I think, yes, it's good that Tamta is trying to avoid that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you make sure that we can hear your microphone kind of rubbing?
Oh, so yeah. Oh, that's my microphone. Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it is. At
Sorry
least I hear
about
some
everyone.
clicking. I have somebody saying ESVL97. I have a feeling that Cyprus will send an upbeat song every year, like Finland did in 2006. Finland won with a rock song, right? And then 3 years, I'm afraid the same thing will happen with Cyprus. Do you think that could be like the kind of route? They're going to be like, oh, this is working. Let's use this until it's no longer working. Could that be a thing?
That is a tough one. I think this is a step. I think upbeat is too broad to really think of Cyprus as going too samey just because they're sending upbeat songs. But maybe there is a risk of falling into a little bit of a rut. Although, if the last few years are any indication, the Eurovision jury and public has a way of trying to get countries out of their ruts.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Keep up, though, just to kind of Bulgaria, they have been doing, it's kind of sad I'm bringing them up because they're not in this year, but the last few years, once they return, right, they have been doing really well. It seems as they figured out their groove, but none of the songs were alike, right? They always came to, so just because you figured out, okay, I think we know what we're doing now, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to just send the same song over and over again.
Yes.
So we need to take a look and see how it goes. But we're all, I mean, to me, even if you can say you're not Tamta, it's not my kind of music. This is a big deal. Like, Greece exploded.
She's a real person. She's like a real celebrity person.
I was talking to some Greek people who contacted me, journalists, and they're like, Greece is currently on fire. No pun intended, right, with Fuego. But it's really just like people going insane. And that alone is an exciting thing. You should be just excited that a country is excited.
Yeah. And I think it's sort of the same thing with Australia. Like, I was even talking to my folks who want nothing to do with Eurovision most of the time, but they heard that Shepherd were going to be in the Australian selection. They're such a big name that they perked up. It's really, really good to see Eurovision finding these names who want to do it and figuring out how to bring new audiences on board.
Yep. Absolutely agree. One thing, let's see, like M says, I think Cyprus could do well even with an upbeat song if they change a little bit the style, maybe more ethnic or more mystic.
I support that.
Yeah, I support that. I support that. Go a little bit less mainstream, or like
Yes.
predictable, like. And
Yeah.
this is no dig at Eleni, because I think she did a song that I liked, but when she did it on stage, I mean, she owned it. She is an amazing performer. So, and that's what it comes down to. And Tamta, we know, is good, and she has her own style. Very important. All right, let's move on to our next topic, because otherwise we're going to talk about it for the next 5 hours. Let's talk about Italy, Sanremo. Do you like Sanremo, Calvin? You watch it?
I do like Sanremo. It can be a little long, and
that's one way to phrase it
sometimes, but I do like Sanremo, and I am very excited about a couple of names in this lineup.
Yes,
for sure, especially my girl Patti Bravo.
Wow, I want to go over that right away. So in case people that don't watch Sanremo all the time, Sanremo Festival is a show that's been taking place since the early 1950s, I want to say, and actually it existed before Eurovision was a thing. Eurovision was modeled after Sanremo. Of course, then has evolved over time. It's very different now, but initially that was the inspiration of Eurovision. So Sanremo is an annual contest festival that takes place in Italy, and the winner is being given the option to represent Italy at Eurovision. But it is not an actual national final in the traditional sense, because they're saying, okay, Calvin, you have won Sanremo. Congratulations. Do you want to go to Eurovision? Here, you can. And you can say?
I can say no, because winning Sanremo in Italy is prestigious enough that you can just take your Sanremo win and go.
Yes. And it happened as recent as of 2016, right? I forgot the name of the band that actually said, we're good. Because there are a lot of, and I say, people, established artists, a lot of them, who are also often over the age of 50, sometimes 60, and they can win. And they may think, Eurovision, that's not my thing. And then they say, we're good. And then they pick somebody else. Sometimes they go down the line saying, okay, second place, do you want to do it? But they don't have to. They can just pick whoever they want. So that's why I'm saying, like, whoever wins Sanremo, they may or may not represent Italy. Yep. More often than not, they do, but don't take it for as a guarantee.
100%.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So let's go through some of the names that came up over the last few days, and I think everyone knows Il Volo is back.
Yes.
They won the televote by a landslide in 2015 with Grande Amore. And then the jury said,
no,
we're good. We like Manzamalo's little sketch there. So they finished third overall. I was devastated. Were you a fan of Il Volo, or was it not your cup of coffee?
It wasn't really my thing, but I appreciated what they were going for. I think since it was just so out of my usual league, I sort of resigned myself to respecting that they did what they tried to do well. One thing that I thought was super notable is that they were singing in Italian, and given the recent string of winners that we've had, I don't know how necessary it was that they win to preserve national language. But at the time, I was like, oh, it really would have been great to have a song not in English win.
Yes.
But yeah, I respected what they were going for, but
it wasn't for you. Yeah. So you maybe not quite as intrigued about them. I am, because I was a big fan. Il Volo was my favorite. Somebody actually, Eurotrash, is pointing out, same, how I was talking about Italy, Sanremo, how this does not necessarily mean that the winner's going to go. It's the same in FiK, saying, I believe it's the same thing. Although, since they've joined Eurovision, has there been one that declined? I don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah. And also, I think this year especially, they've really tried to make clear, this is our Eurovision selection. And from there, I can't imagine anyone would decline.
So to an extent, I agree with that, but I think Festivali I Kenges has evolved a little, unlike Sanremo, who is still kind of like its own little thing. Actually, before we talk about more of the artists, Calvin, I'm sure you know, in previous years, Sanremo had 2 different shows, the newcomer category and then the established category. They're like, oh, this is too much, because then the establishment category, they would be then the ones going to Eurovision, where they're to win. The newcomers didn't have a chance. Now they're all just together in one group, so there is no distinction anymore. Do you like that?
I think it could go either way, and it really sort of depends on the song for me. Um, I remember that didn't Francesco Gabbani get his start in the newcomer
Could
category?
be. But even
With
Francesco did the year before he actually took part. I think in 2016 he was in the newcomer,
yeah.
and then the next year he won the big one.
Yeah, and there was a lot of at the time I remember very fair. I thought like, why isn't this in contention for actual Eurovision?
That's true.
Yeah, it could go south really quickly.
Yeah, we have to wait and
I'm
see.
not. Yes, I am in wait and see mode with that.
I am the same way. So let's see some of the big names, and let me know who am I missing that should at least get a mention here, not just because of a favorite. So obviously we have Il Volo returning, and interesting enough that they won in 2015, right? And then the act that finished second place was Nick.
Is also back.
Nick,
Yes.
right? And he actually, I remember him when I still lived in Germany in the 90s. He had a huge hit, Laura Non C'è or something like that, a song. So I even remember him. So he is back too. I like this kind of music. It feels so Italian. I don't even know a better word. It feels very authentic to me. And I'm really excited about him. Then there is Arisa. That's her name. She was announced yesterday. She's going to perform Mi Sento Bene. She won in 2014, they say.
I think so.
But she didn't go then because 2014 we had a different singer. So she may, if she wins, she may not go again, huh?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, so yesterday after the Italy Sanremo folks were announced, we got a bunch of messages on social media saying that they're upset that Il Volo is taking part. And this was coming from fans, Il Volo fans, because they are scheduled to be on a big tour through Asia in April and May. So they are scared that if Il Volo were to win Sanremo, that they would have to cancel their tour. But I am thinking, if you have a tour canceled, you usually don't scheduled. You usually don't cancel that. So my thinking is maybe Il Volo won't even go to Eurovision, or I don't know what was going to happen.
I'm wondering if, independent of that, they might not want to go to Eurovision. They might just see it as sort of a been there, done that opportunity, and then maybe just be able to use the tour as an out, perhaps. I wonder, like, even if canceling the tour is a realistic possibility, whether they'll have any interest in it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're actually gonna go, but we have to wait and see. And then in the actual lineup, there are a bunch of very established names, right? So acts have been around for a long time. But two of them are Einar and Mahmoud. They're not established, but they're newcomers. They won Sanremo. Giovanni, right? And that's like the newcomer category-ish, right?
I think so.
It's like a reinvention. So 2 spots were given to the from that particular field, and they are part of the lineup. Did I miss anyone else that deserves mentioning besides your favorites?
Patty Bravo.
I know that.
I don't think so. I think the big story coming out of it was Il Volo, Nick, that newcomers are going to be allowed to participate.
Yeah.
I think we can't cover.
But you, from what I heard, you have a different not favorite, you don't know the song yet, but just based on the name, you have already someone you're really excited about?
I am quite excited to see Patty Bravo back. I think she is.
Who is she? Give us a little quick.
She has sort of been around forever in Italian music, like beyond Nick even, and I love the way her voice is kind of aged. It's really husky now. It's really poignant, and I loved her song. I think from 2016, Celia Mensi, and I am really excited to see her back. She also has some shows. She's also like in collaborations with a lot of people that have all been really compelling. She's doing another duet this year, which seems interesting. It's with a rapper I was unfamiliar with before he was announced, but I'm really excited to see her.
That's awesome.
Okay, just hijacking this with my Patty Bravo.
So let's see what the song's going to be like. Just real quick, Marco Van Mealy said something really interesting. Arisa did not decline in 2014. RAI chose Emma Marone before Sanremo. The one and only time they did not use Sanremo since 2011. So I did not know that either. So when Emma... They didn't say, hey, Arisa, you can go. No, that was the one year, apparently, they said, screw Sanremo, we're just going to pick Emma. That didn't, and we know how that worked out.
Yeah, but she, at the time, was such a big star that I think Emma Marone says, I'll do Eurovision, you drop everything and let her do Eurovision, was justified, even if it did kind of
Didn't work out in their favor.
Give Arisa the shaft and not work out at Eurovision.
Yeah. The hype definitely was there, because I remember Italy was like one of the 3 big hyped songs that year, and oh well, that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles.
I received a word that my mic is still rubbing against something, so I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Just hold on.
Is this better, y'all? Let me know.
Yes,
when
it's way better. It's way better.
Awesome. Okay,
yes.
great.
Okay.
Good.
It's probably very uncomfortable. They have to sit the rest of the screen like this, but that's okay. So Italy, we have the names. In Spain, we now have parts of the songs. I have not listened to them, so we're not going to talk about the snippets just yet. But in case you didn't know, Operación Triunfo is that American Idol meets Big Brother kind of thing, where, you know, I don't know how many acts went into that academy, and then they were recorded in the academy doing their thing, rehearsing and living their lives, and then they were voted out every week based on that live show. And then now we have a winner. His name is Famous. And apparently that is his name, actually. Somebody told me. Oh. I'm not sure if that's... It's like somebody told me a couple of weeks ago that is actually his name. I'm like, what? So, what do you think? Did you listen to his songs? Did you pay attention? Do you like him? Was he a favorite? Who were you?
I listened to his snippet, and one of the things that's kind of worrisome about this format for me is that there are certain personalities whom the audience has grown to love, and if they don't have a heck of a song, that could be kind of problematic. And a lot of the comments were like, I really like Famous, but he deserves a better song. Sorry to spoil this for you. I know you're...
No, it's fine. I mean, as long as you don't tell me, that's fine. I could disagree, but it could be. Because I think there were... And what I saw was there were 17 songs in the running right now, and I think the public gets to choose 2 or 3. I think 3. But I saw Famous has 1 song in the running, and then that one guy who finished like in 6th or 7th place has like 3 songs. And I'm like... How does that make sense? And this is my personal issue with the Operación Triunfo selection thing. They just they don't have great content. Yes, throw everything but the kitchen sink and see what sticks. And that doesn't make sense to me. And I feel as it's going to be disconnect, similar to last year. And don't get me wrong, I was a big fan of Alfred Amaya and all that stuff, but a lot of people, it was a polarizing entry, right?
Yeah.
And people believe that they won because they were the stars of the show, their love thing. Is it true that they broke up? I don't even know. I don't know if that's true. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing an article talking about it. But I don't follow the gossip stuff usually. A lot of the hype, they say, was because they won because of all the storyline that was behind them, and not the actual song that won. Because Lo Mayo was the song that in the end was highly successful in Spain, and that only finished 3rd in the national final. What are your thoughts?
And that's the risk. I totally agree that, like, when you have personalities that are that where you get to follow their journey, and you grow to like some and dislike others, that you start to worry a little bit about whether the ones that you really like are going to have good songs. And I think there isn't enough of a counterbalance of people who can, like, step back and say, I like these people, I'm still disappointed in their song, to stop a compelling personality with a so-so song from winning.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. By the way, somebody, ESVL said, yes, they broke up, but I guess they stayed friends. I'm like, well, good for them. Well, not the breaking up part. I'm not happy for them, of course, but the fact that they were able to stay friends, you know, that's not always an easy thing to do, depending on what happened.
Yes.
It is also a lot of pressure. I cannot even imagine being falling in love on camera like that, and then the pressure of the public.
Absolutely. Being the Spanish Eurovision entrant in particular, I think, carries with it a lot of pressure.
Spanish fans are passionate. Let's put it that way.
I think pressure was part of what did Edurne and Baré both in. I think the questions surrounding his legitimacy gave Manel some real trouble. It seems like a really grueling journey to be the Spanish Eurovision entrant.
An interesting, somebody also pointed out the writer of the song chose the singer, and people were mad that 3 singers didn't even get a song. So the actual singer doesn't have a say in it. Is that what I'm saying? Here, we got this song for you because the songwriter chose you. I'm like, nobody chose me, and I finished in 3rd place, but the guy who finished in 10th place got like 15 songs.
You know who did choose me?
What the what? This is... that is crazy. I'm like, that's why I don't like the system that they have in place. I want Spain to succeed. Number one, they're passionate and they're overdue. Their last win, do you remember? A trivia. When was their last win, Calvin? I'm putting you on the spot.
it 1970?
So close, but no cigar. 69.
Oh,
That was the year when 4 countries won.
yes.
And Spain was one of them. That was the last time they won, which will be 50 years from next year. 50 years. Most people were not alive. None of us was alive back then. So I'm really rooting for them. It's been so long. They are so passionate about it. And
Absolutely.
I have a feeling they would put together a kick-ass show if they were to win this whole thing. So we have to wait and see. And the person with the best song and the most vote is one of the worst contestants vocally, someone saying. See, that's what I'm saying. So the person who wrote the song just picked someone that they like, and they have the best song, but it's just a big mess.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big mess. Just like, did you watch the 2017 national final in Spain? The one that was a little controversial? Do It For Your Lover?
I did. I have fond memories of just the forum sputtering out of control a little bit because exactly.
That was crazy but there seems to be a little bit more of a certain people pulling the strings, and with a setup like that, I feel as certain people, the songwriters have more power, and I don't like it. I like it fair, and often the fans are the ones that lose out in the end.
Absolutely.
So that's all right. Anything else you have to say about Spain before we move on?
Nope, I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah, and the other one that recently released, we both neither of us have really paid close attention to the songs yet. I will do a separate reaction video, is France. Destination Eurovision, guys. If you have not listened to the songs yet, the snippets, like 1-minute snippets, are available. You can go to eseunited.com. And check them out. Now, since we're not going to talk about the songs, let's talk about the selection process. Did you watch Destination Eurovision? Were you a fan? Even not talking about the winner in the end, just the whole concept.
Yeah, I thought it worked. I thought it was good. It was good to see France really not just put effort in, but really put it in people's hands. Showcase a lot of different styles of French music. Do kind of the same thing Sweden go for, where they just flood the airwaves with a bunch of different types of songs, and you can sort of pick and choose what works for you. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't super fond of the winner, but I still got a couple songs for my Spotify afterwards. I have only good things to say about the effort that France is putting into their selection. I appreciate it.
And it's been a long time since France won as well. Calvin, I'm going to put you on the spot again.
Oh,
when did
God,
France...
no. Oh, my God. Not the 90s. Not these. A long time.
Wow, you looked that up on Wikipedia. It said a long time ago.
Look it up.
No, I know. I'm just thinking. It's 1977. So they're over 40 years. So 42 years next year. So they're also overdue. I do appreciate all the changes that they implement, because last year the semifinals were recorded. They weren't live, and only the juries had a say. Now they're going to be live, and the people will have a say as well. Big difference, very important. Even though they did overall good job, the juries putting the right songs through, in my opinion, it still sucks when you have a show that you don't really have a say in it. You feel disconnected to it. You're kind of like, oh yeah, I don't have a say, boring. So I do like the fact that they're bringing that back. And I thought overall, Destination Eurovision last year had, regardless of what you think of the song, the winner, a great selection of good entries, right?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%.
Very diverse. So I'm hoping it's going to go the same way this year. People in the chat, don't spoil it for us, because we have not listened to them yet. I will do a separate video on that. Don't you worry. Mm-hmm. Who else has anything released? Anything else we're missing before we move on to Albania?
Yeah, I think we're ready for FiK.
I guess we're ready for... You see, I have a problem with the term FiK, because in German it means the F word.
Oh, okay.
Like you say, F you, it means...
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you F yourself. I was on this... It's really funny to me when I hear that word. But, But I have the same thing, because... With your favorite song, actually, I have an issue as well, other than because of the name, but I explained it in a second again. I did that. But let's talk about Festivali I Kenges as a whole right now. What is your impression this year, the song quality, the whole thing?
I think there is a noted leap forward in time with the songs. Which I think is kind of a mixed bag, honestly. I like that FiK kind of had its sort of, FIK.
Somebody even said it, a German one. I'm like, exactly. Bob, go ahead.
Sort of had its, I out of time kind of quality to it. And there's still some of that. But I think it's taken a leap forward in terms of how current the songs are. I think it's a really good selection of songs. I've really enjoyed getting to know these artists over the past couple of nights, what they can do, what they do when faced with a challenge like the orchestra versus what their final entry is like. I think there are a lot of really compelling entries for Eurovision. I think there are a few songs that could do really well. I may have a couple problems with it, but I'm quite optimistic about it.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
I like it too. And I always say never change it, because it is, for a lot of people, it seems like a few decades behind the whole show, right? But that's why we love it. That's why, because we're spoiled.
Absolutely.
We're spoiled. I was called Westerners, right? We have like these high production shows, whether it's American Idol, even Melody Festival, where everything to the second is planned and planned out, and nothing is left to chance, right? Unless something really unpredictable is happening. But for the most part, there is no awkward pause anywhere. Everything has to cut here, and that person stands right there. And if it's not there, what's going on? And I was actually saying yesterday, because FiK was late 45 minutes yesterday, I think.
45 minutes.
And I was like, if this would have happened in America, people were out there with their torches, be like, what? Exactly. 2 minutes. It's like, this is unheard of. And everyone's just like, are we on the wrong channel? Do we have the wrong link here? I always had to check for social media that I'm on the right channel. Were you also like going crazy?
Yeah. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No, me neither. But I loved, and they said that because there is very limited appeal to the younger audience in Albania, so it seems to be mostly just catered to older generation, which is not wrong, but they do now at some point they need to bring in newer people, because, you know, it is getting, you know, you need to have some more broader appeal, especially if you go to Eurovision. So what they did this year is they intentionally, deliberately tried to bring in more perceived younger, like upbeat, modern songs. Do you think they succeeded with that?
I think they definitely succeeded with that. I think their upbeat modern songs, with a couple exceptions, really fit into FiK tradition. Yeah. I thought Mbrëmje e Pafund from Claudia Nevada was really kind of in the vein of the songs they used to send in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I thought Vetmi was really kind of within the Albanian ethos. I think even Moa Fort, which is getting a lot of hype from people saying, "Oh, it's Albania doing something different," sort of has its little touches that keep it in line. Yeah, I absolutely think they succeeded, and they kept their identity in a lot of ways while doing it.
Yes, I would agree with that. And one thing we know about Albania, when they select a song, they will do a significant revamp. So a lot of the songs that have potential, I always call it the framework, is there. Yeah. If they win, you can tell, okay, this has something. Yeah. They will redo it, and then early March, they're going to release the actual song, and it could be really, really something different. Last year, Mal, there were only a few tweaks here and there, but it was, out of all the ones, probably the closest to what the original was ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But there's still a few tweaks here and there, and they do usually a good job. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but at least we know it's not going to be the same song that we originally know. So let's talk about the results. Yesterday, Saturday. So Thursday, they performed, and they had the orchestra play with them. Yesterday, they had actually, for the most part, with some exceptions, because it's only in Albania, they switch it up again. Some had an acoustic version. But there were 22 performances with the studio version, and 8 songs were eliminated, 14 moved on. So let's go through that. I mean, Calvin, shockers, surprises. Talk about it real quick before we go.
There were a lot of them. I thought none was going to win the whole thing, honestly. If only for the El Haidadani connection, and because of how much people seemed to enjoy it. And I was shocked to see him not move on. I thought his performances on both Thursday and Friday were a little bit nervous. Yes. And I said in the live blog, like, he needs to learn how to present this song confidently sometime between now and May if he wants to have a shot at Eurovision. I was shocked to lose 2 of the 3 songs that seemed sort of in there to appeal to the young and hip. Yes. To appeal to the young and hip, we lost 2 of those. I was surprised to see a couple make it. Dilan Reka had some problems with his performance, but I know had a little bit of goodwill racked up from previous years, and I like the song. But I was really surprised to see him get in, given that their performance yesterday was a little messy, and they were a replacement, and they were in the death slot yesterday. I was surprised to see Artemisa and Febi make it in.
Really? You're
Yes.
surprised. Okay, I want to talk about that.
I was-
Let's go through them real quick. Because at 22, we're just going through the performances yesterday real quick, and then talk about them just for a second, because we don't only have like 25 minutes left. Janita was the first one up the night, and Janita Maliki, one of the favorites, right, to win.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do you think deserving qualifier? She did good.
I don't really care for the song much at all, but she absolutely slayed both Thursday and Friday's performances. Totally deserved to make it, and I wasn't surprised to see that she did.
Yeah. Now I was worried that because the jury's not always, this is new to them, this newer music style, right? So I was worried that she's gonna get axed. I personally really, really like the song, but it needs and this is going to be the recurring theme of the year for me, so just get used to it, but it needs a revamp. It needs, because the chorus, it's not quite there yet. They need to fix something on the vocal with the backup singers. It becomes a little bit too noisy, but I do see the quality there, and I just really like her. There needs to be some fixing going on, but both of us think, even if you don't like the song, I think it deserved at least a spot in the final, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes. Now let's talk about Artemisa and FiK, because you said they were not that good, and
I thought.
Oh, that's fair. That is actually fair. But I'll let you talk first. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought I enjoyed the song a lot, and I think they're both really compelling performers. I thought they were fantastic on Thursday. On Friday, I was actually talking to a close friend of mine who is a big fan of the song, and he was not thrilled with what happened during the performance with the extra person who was there, and sort of swallowing them. And they were a replacement for an artist who withdrew, which means that they had a little bit of something to prove with the the powers that be. And I was kind of surprised to see that they managed to sneak into the final. But you know what? I'm really glad they're there, and I think they deserve it. And I'm glad they have another opportunity. They just need to ditch the hype now.
Yeah. Now that what you said,
yeah,
I totally agree with actually what you said, and the analysis you just provided, because they deserve a spot there. I didn't like the third person either, but that seemed to be a thing that happened a lot yesterday. And from what I'm hearing, they're all going to disappear again. The new people, right? These are just guest singers. You what?
No Relegate tonight?
I don't think so. At least somebody said that they're just as guests. I'm like, but it was so weird to me, because this is what the juries will judge you on, right? And you're like, well, let's just take a risk and have this random person potentially ruin our song. And but as I said, hashtag only in Albania. It is all, you never know what FiK is going to throw your way. So that was very, very interesting. But I agree with you. I thought they were better on Friday with. No, yes, it was Friday. Thursday. Which is surprising, because this is the kind of song I would think is better with a studio version, because it's not a orchestra-friendly kind of song per se. Not. So that was very interesting. But hopefully with the new guy being the gone guy, that maybe they'll fix it today. At least they're in the finals. I don't know if they're going to win, but I think the final needs that song, because it really adds a modern flavor.
Yeah. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
Yes. People say live then in the studio. People say, but I also agree. Somebody saying Artemisa's voice, the studio version, is too childlike in the actual live performance. She sounds way more.
Such a good live performance.
Yes, she is. And that's one thing. I liked the song when I heard it. When you guys watch my reaction video, but when I watch on Thursday, I'm like, oh my god. This really comes to life, performed on stage.
That was her song last year too.
That was his last song. Yes, the same one. She should get disqualified.
No, last year too. Like I was not really on board with her, and then she just came out in the final, and she was killer. Yeah, in the performance, she really, really came to life in live last year and this year.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
Well, hopefully she's going to do well, and encouraged to come back. If she doesn't win, maybe she wins, So we'll see. It's funny how we always talk about Artemisa. We don't even mention Phoebe, but we just wait for the rap part to be over to get to the chorus anyway. Yeah. So Mirud, obviously you just talked about him. Shock of the evening. If you don't like the song, I agree, and if you guys watched my live stream the last 2 nights, he was not good on Thursday. He couldn't hit the lower notes. Once he hits the big, like the loud notes, he was way better, right? Then he feels like, but he knew that he was messing up, and it seems as he lost focus and control and never
His
really
microphone
recovered from
stand
it.
was shaking when he was holding it.
Yes,
It was,
he was so nervous. I felt bad for him. Like he seems like
me too.
he's a good performer. Like he has it. He
Yeah.
just wasn't mentally there.
He was
Yesterday he was a little better. Like, but he still wasn't quite there. The confidence wasn't there. The low notes were too quiet. But once he hit those big notes, it was fine. But I think the jury's really punished him for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it seems a jury-friendly song, right? You think when you hear
absolutely. I thought it was going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I was a little worried that he's not going to win it anymore after the performances, but I thought final guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and then also out, and that's a shocker for a lot of us. You like the song Claudiana Vata, right?
Yes. I was sad to see this miss. I mean, like, I see what happened. The performances were problematic, both of them. But I really liked the song, and I thought there was something there. And I would not have been too upset if the jury had been fine with saying, okay, your performances were rough, but here's a third opportunity. I'm sad to lose the song, but I get why it happened.
No, it was bad direction, the staging and the performance, as you said, but I did like her. She does have the stage presence. She has the fun on stage. And I think if it would have done executed better, I think this would have had a better shot because I liked it as well. I didn't care for it in the the studio version at all. It was just kind of like, whatever. But I enjoyed it, the performance. But as you said, there were too many flaws. I think that maybe the jurors were like, no, we're good. Lydia Luffy, you remember her?
Yes, I do. This has like this melody that's been in my head since yesterday. The dun 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 dun. Dun 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 from the guitar. I think it's just I think her song was actually really enjoyable, and if Albania want to get their Albania on,
get your Albania on. Okay,
exactly.
They should go with that.
Then I honestly think this could be kind of a dark horse contender. It takes your attention and it takes patience, but if there's a lot there, and it felt like a very Albania choice, and I wasn't super surprised to see it make it.
Yeah. Well, you surprised it didn't make it? No, you're not surprised.
I was not surprised that it made it. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it seems the kind of song that I figured the juries would put through. I enjoyed it on stage. I would not vote for it. I'm being honest because I have a disconnect with it because I feel as the verses and the chorus are like two different songs, and it's like she's very quiet. She's like in the la la la. And then the chorus is really loud, and I'm just like, oh, it takes me out of it. But the chorus in itself, I really like. And she also brought someone along, right?
I think so. Yes, it was.
Wasn't she?
Yeah,
this is so hard to remember everyone because so many changes and it's like so fast. Well, it wasn't that fast.
She had a duet partner.
Yeah. So no surprise there. Marco and Imbro, Layla. What do you think?
This one's been getting a little bit of love on our forum, I've seen, and in the fan community at large, and I appreciate it. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's fairly enjoyable. I think yesterday adding Aurelia Gace, as much as I love her, kind of like blew everything that I had seen before she came on to smithereens. I think it was just a little bit of a mistake to share the stage with Aurelia Gace because it's hard to share with her.
I know. It's like she sucks all the attention to her, and that's like that thing because that's an amazing performer. If you get all the attention from everyone, she's like, out of my way, bitches. You know.
All that being said, I thought it brought. I really, really enjoyed seeing her again. I thought she did great with the song, and I have to wonder if they can thank her for a spot in the final.
Really? I think they would have made it anyway.
Without her.
Honestly, I had it in my top 10 in my original ranking. I had like an 8th place. I felt the studio version, there was not a good connection between the harmonies and the vocals between the two singers. But live, it was amazing.
They worked
well together, and it is climbing up. It is definitely in my top 3. I haven't really figured out my top 3 yet in like which order, but they are one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite ballad, but I'm a sucker for Balkan ballads. This also, guess what, needs a revamp. They need to get Zelko Joksimovic from Serbia and put his kind of magic to work there, because that's what it needs, that beautiful kind of instruments that we're a little missing here. But if you add that, this is my dark horse. I could see this one coming out of nowhere and win this whole thing. I'm not cutting those. I think it is beautiful, and I'm glad it made it. And I'm with you. Like, as much as I enjoyed her Aurelia be on stage, and she gotta go. She gots to go.
I have mixed feelings about her presence there.
Yeah.
Even if I did love that she showed up.
Ogisa Saimi, one of the fan favorites
Potential
last year,
winner.
and now very popular. So I heard you. Potential winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such a shot of energy. Let me check where it is in the new running order. Oh my goodness, yes. Right after Layla again. It feels like something completely different from anything else in this selection. It feels very artistically authentic. It feels very odd. I could definitely see this one winning, and I'm glad to see people appreciating it. It's good to see it getting the traction that it, I think, deserves.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a similar. This is definitely my top 5. She was like my 8th place, and then my initial reaction. Then I saw her on Friday. I'm like, Thursday. I always get days mixed up. On Thursday, I'm like, this really is the song that you need to perform live. She's an amazing performer, and she's a true individual, an artist.
Yes,
she's
absolutely.
not. I don't care what anybody thinks. This is me. She has like she come with a strange outfit, almost got like Lady Gaga vibes.
Luke's get up. Yeah.
Yes, she's like, this is me. Deal with it. And I like that attitude. I like her. She has so much personality and charisma. It's just like she's oozing personality. And she brings... I don't know if the song would work with any performer, any singer. Do you know what I mean? It's her. Yeah. So she definitely grew my ranking. I would not be surprised if she wins. I don't see her as a top contender right now, only because I think it doesn't have the immediate not mainstream, but overall main appeal, I guess. It's not for everyone, so that could kind of work in against her. But all I'm saying is, if you don't win Orgesa, come back next year. You are amazing, and I know that you'll get a song that will do great things at Eurovision. That's all I can say.
And no broad appeal has never stopped a song from winning FIK.
That is true. You don't want to have that song that everyone likes, because I'm like, then something is wrong, because you need to have a more polarizing opinion. Every song that you can think over the last few years.
That's one thing.
Salvador, Jamala, what's her name? Netta. All three, like, they had huge fans. I forgot her name, because so many names. They all had, like, a lot of haters, right? There were a lot of people, I hate this song. It's stupid.
FIK especially, like, if you're not, like, what the heck is happening...
Yeah, it doesn't work. It wouldn't be Albania without it. Absolutely. Ilona Islamai, she didn't make it. I don't remember the song right now. Do you?
It was that like really kind of light, quiet, kind of lounge jazzy song.
That's why she didn't qualify.
The band, yes.
Oh, and that was the jazzy one. Yes, I remember that now. Yes.
It was. I was not surprised to see it miss. I thought it was a very enjoyable performance, but it was kind of light compared to a lot of what we saw, and it wasn't quite compellingly light enough to make it to the final. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm not surprised it's not there.
It's too jazzy for me. I'm not big into jazz, so that's all I have to say. I don't want to pick on it too much, because they say if you don't have nice things to say, don't say anything at all, right? But I never listen to advice anyway, so don't care. So the next one is Bojan Lako, a Festivali I Kenges veteran. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's a surprise that he qualified. It's the kind of music that they always put through. Won't win, obviously, but it kind of, and I agree to the extent it almost belongs to the finals, because it's that kind of music that you expect.
Yeah, I thought it was better with the orchestra.
Absolutely.
I didn't like the arrangement yesterday. But he is a big enough name that it would have been a surprise to see him miss. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Elton Data. That is the craziest one. In case you guys don't know, Elton Data is actually like the musical director, or the artistic director of Festivali I Kenges, right? And then he performs his own song. And then he also plays the piano, the next song. I think
another song.
He's like in the back. I'm playing as well. And then the juries.
Don't mind me.
I was like, wait. And then guess what? He qualifies.
Weird. Yes.
It is. Isn't there like a conflict of interest? Here?
I can't help but like raise my eyebrows a little bit. And yet, this song is in my personal top 3.
Woo!
I know, spicy take it coming. But
you can see Calvin's taste is less mainstream.
Sorry, everyone.
Some people call it loco. No, I'm kidding. So it's true, but it's good. That's what we want. We want different tastes.
I thought it was really warm and comfortable and sweet. Do you remember that Paul Simon song from like a decade and a half ago, Father and Daughter?
Well, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that in a lot of
Oh,
ways.
it gives a, okay. I can see where you get the vibe. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I thought it was really just charming, and I enjoyed it. And thank goodness for conflicts of interest.
I don't like the song, me personally, but I'm gonna say something also that I'm gonna believe. If he wasn't the director, he still would have qualified. I do
Yeah,
believe that it's just that kind of music, that song that would qualify to the finals. It just seems that comfortable sound in Albania. So I don't pick on him too much. It just
yeah,
the cosmetics of it is a little awkward when you have
yeah,
that kind of thing. You know, even
yeah,
if you don't do anything wrong, the appearance is there. He should
yeah.
have recused himself. Elisa Hoxa with Peng.
Is that okay?
Calvin, you hate this one, I'm hearing.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, no. This is. I was saying on the live blog when I heard it. I hadn't heard it going into Thursday night, and I said on the live blog that it's really hard for me to be objective about a song like this because it feels like it was created in a lab to appeal to me.
it's like
Yeah,
evil laughter
exactly.
while it's being
We're
put
gonna get
together.
Calvin on board. Yeah,
We
I
may
think
lose everything else, but we get
yeah,
Calvin's vote.
exactly. I love it. I think it's wonderful. I think it like gives me chills like every time she like says "pang" like with that slight like off note. It's
Yes.
I enjoy this song so much. I enjoy the staging a lot. I thought the rendition yesterday was beautiful. Um, I have only good things to say about it. I enjoy it a lot. And I'm honestly, yeah, coming from a bit of a biased place, but not surprised it made it through.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, no, it's not a biased place because if you see the appeal, you can see others seeing
Yeah.
the appeal as well. And I got a lot of positive comments about this song as well. I said in my, not that yesterday, but the day before, I had a problem with this song listening to it because it's called Peng. And in German, Peng means bang, like you shoot a gun, right?
Oh.
So it's always when she's like, it's an emotional song, right? About a very, I think it was a hostage or something like that, I think it means. So it was like, pang, pang. I was like, it sounds like she's shooting someone. And it just always makes me giggle, you know, like, because it's very hard
Yeah.
for me to not think of it as the German word.
Yeah.
But this song was not on my radar at all in the studio version. I'm like, it's a ballad, beautifully performed, but that's about it. But she brings it to life. She's a great live performer. The emotions that she puts into it
Yes.
is amazing. And she won me over. Again, maybe not quite as high as on your list as on mine, but I think she absolutely deserved a spot in the finals. So
Yeah.
we agree on that. Okay, so we're
Yes.
only halfway through. We are really talking a lot. Jerke
Yes.
Leka.
Yeah.
It's one of the songs that, oh, is that the one where he talks a lot? Is that the
Yeah.
one with that mask where the old guy and then he rips off his mask at the end?
I can't remember.
No, that was Babella, right? That was Babella, I think. Which one was it where the guy was
One,
singing?
two.
And
Yeah.
then he actually was a younger guy singing, but he was wearing an old man's mask, face
Yeah.
paint, and then he ripped it off. Was it the
Yeah.
other one? I don't remember.
Maybe both this and Babella kind of had the same vibe.
Yes, that's why I'm mixing them up.
One make it and one not make it because you know when you're in an Italian restaurant and someone starts to sing, and like some old guy will sit on a stool and like sing songs from the motherland. That's kind of the vibe I got from both of them.
I can see
I-
that. They kind
Yeah,
of blur into one another. I can, to me, a little bit,
but
yeah.
it was a bad choice to put them in the running order next to each other. I thought, but I liked it. I thought it was again kind of comfortable and warm, and nice and a nice thing to listen to in the background. Which is why I was kind of surprised to see one make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed both of them. And I thought they were I have good things to say about them.
Yep. So, and then also the next one, Oral Tilimi with Te Duati. I'm going to go first on this one because I know a lot of people were upset about me rude. I was PISSED when Oral didn't qualify. I thought this was beautiful. I love that angelic I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And he sang it beautifully. He did some of the corny like hand gestures that I don't like, but other than that, like into the camera, I just really not a fan of that. But other than that, I thought it's such a beautiful song and it at least deserved a spot in the finals. So I was shocked. Seems like a jury pleaser to me.
I thought it, yeah.
Don't know what happened, so I'm very disappointed. What about you?
I didn't necessarily like love the song like you love the song, but I really thought it had a spot in the final, like totally secure, and even maybe could have won. I'm surprised. I'm as shocked as you were to see it miss.
That was to me actually more than Me Rude, because with Me Rude, Not that I'm because I love the song, but I can see what worked against him. You can say, hey, he really is not ready to perform. He had 2 chances and he kind of, not butchered it, but he certainly didn't deliver. But Aurel delivered, so that was the sad part for me. So, but next one is Sony Milai, Me e Forte. Now, this is became one of the fan favorites from what I'm hearing. Calvin, you're usually not the one that gravitates to what fan favorites, but what do you think?
I have my problems with this song. But overall, I actually kind of enjoy it. I think it needs the mother of all revamps because I think
Sing it, child.
Yes. Yes. I think the drop is not just a drop, but a drop in energy in the song right now, and I think that's a problem. Maybe they could cut the drop entirely and just put in a chorus there. But I think there's a lot to like about this song, and I thought it actually came alive in a lot of ways thanks to the orchestra. Because I really enjoyed when the horns were a lot bigger, when the strings came in. I thought it was great with the orchestra, and given that it's closing out the show tonight, and also given that the field has sort of been cleared of a lot of other up-tempo numbers. Of up-tempo pop numbers, I think it's the odds-on favorite to win.
I think this is the one to beat. I agree, yes. I absolutely think that, and I always like the song. If you look at my ranking, I was always like, oh, this is actually pretty good. She completely won me over last night. And I know you said that, I mean, I always like orchestra better, or 9 out of 10 times. If it were up to me, we have an orchestra at Eurovision. I understand why we don't, but if it were up to me for selfish reasons, we would have an orchestra. So usually when there's an orchestra, I like the song better anyway, so I'm with you on that one. But looking at, it seems as out of all the songs we had yesterday, they knew exactly what they were going for with the song. And they put not just the outfits, the lighting, the effects, the choreography, they have a vision with that one. And they need the revamp of a century. I agree with that. That needs more because to really bring it into the year 2019. But this has a Fuego kind of vibe to it, actually, that kind of thing. And if she does it right, this could go really far. She won me over, and I'm usually not necessarily always like the mainstream, like dancey banger go-to person, but there's something I enjoyed it so much. And if this was the first time I watched the show yesterday, I would have been like,
Sorry.
There's somebody dropping bottles.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it sounds.
In the background. Sorry, everyone.
Something is happening there. This would be the one that would stand out, and I think the average person voting would gravitate towards that one. That would be my objective, but also biased observation at the same time. I think that kind of align in this one. Yeah. So I think you said it. This one is I agree. This one's the one to beat at this point. So deserve to win. It would be a fun song, but it's less traditional than some of the other ones that you kind of hope from Albania. You have more of a more traditional sound that you want from Albania, right? But this is just us, the nerdy Eurovision fans who want all traditional music, and we have to be a little bit less selfish with that.
We want oral.
I know, we just want that. Lorela Seidini with Vet Me, don't remember her either. Oh no, I do remember her. That was that weird song.
Really slow, and then had like that 30-second.
She got all like ape shit at the end. That's why I lost. It was too messy. There was no proper direction.
It was a lot to take in.
Yes.
But I really liked it. I still thought it was going to make it.
Yep. No, I didn't. I was like, if this makes it through, then I don't know what will. But then there are other songs where I thought the same thing. Yeah. Klinti Kolaku, Me Yete. Now it was like, again, another pretty song with a good singer, but doesn't move mountains. But I was impressed with his vocal. It's really his vocal performance that really brings it to life. So this is what it is to me. It's like he really sells it well. He sings it well. It's not at the top of my list regardless, but I can give a lot of appreciation to the singer. He did his thing. He deserved qualification. But this is as far as it goes for me.
I thought he sang it well on Thursday. He kind of fell off the rails on Friday, and I agree with you that the song is pretty but a little bland, and I thought that there was maybe a shot that he might miss.
Yes.
And it was a minor surprise of mine to see him sneak onto the list.
Yes.
But yeah, if he can pull it out tonight, maybe.
We'll see. All right, we're going to go through the rest real quick because we're already like almost at the end of the time. We want to ask you a question. So Alar Band, I was still disappointed. I like the song, but I don't like the staging right now. It's a song that calls for a lot more energy and excitement, and it seems they're too static on stage for me. I still enjoy it because I love Moldova, and this screams Moldova at me.
Yeah.
What do you think? But I'm glad they made it through at least. It just adds a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed their performance with the orchestra. I thought the Playboy Man Baby style horns
Yes.
with the orchestra were fantastic. I thought yesterday they were a little too subdued, and I thought they were going to miss. But you know what? They're there. If they can bring more energy, I'll really look
We'll
forward to
see.
the
They may
performance.
change it up again. Usually you don't do that. Do the next show, but it's Albania
Yeah.
and only in Albania. That's
Yep.
where you can do it. Kelly, Amir Nijin, the song that was heavily auto-tuned in the studio version, even though it was like a quiet ballad in the beginning, really disturbed me, is not through. He also brought another
A
singer
duet
with
partner.
him on stage. What do you
Yes.
think?
I was not surprised to see him miss too much. I thought it kind of came and went. And
That's
I think there was
exactly.
only so in this field. There's only so much room for kind of came and went.
Yes,
Uh,
correct. I'm exactly on the same page with that. I'm not
yeah.
surprised that he did what he could, but it wasn't enough. I agree with
Yeah.
that. Dylan Reka Karma does not surprise me that it went through. It's not going to win, but he was not as good yesterday. First of all, he was better on Thursday to me, and still his last note it should be illegal. There should be a law against that weird note at the end.
I adore the song. The vocal was really problematic last night, and I thought it would sink him. It didn't.
Nope.
Good for him. The song is good.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. The song is, again, it needs to be brought from 1995 to the year 2019 with a proper revamp. That is my biggest issue here, but maybe they can do it. Iranda Lipohova, 100 Pietje. I was very upset with it because they're supposed to perform the studio version, like the Eurovision version, and she did an acoustic version with the guitar, brought another lady on there, and I was like, done. You were one of my
What is
favorites.
this?
What is this? She was my number 2. I dropped her significantly. I was like, I'm so angry at you right now. You're supposed to, and the French feel that I got from it was gone. I hated that yesterday's performance. Maybe she goes back tonight, but this was my opinion. Sorry if I'm being harsh, but I was so mad, and but she made it through.
I thought it was kind of a dull performance too, and I think she needs to get it together. And I was surprised to see she made it. I know there are a lot of fans who really liked her, and I like her and her song a lot too. But she needs to rethink things.
Figure it out, Iranda. What the heck were you thinking?
Oh, someone in the comments is saying that if Aranda said if she won, she wouldn't go to Eurovision. Interesting.
Oh, really? Oh, right. That's why she's messing around. Okay, well, there you go. Then what do I care? No. And then the last one was Bruno Pologatti, Nukka Stop. Did not make it, and I'm probably in the minority here, but I'm sad. I enjoyed it so much. I think he tried his best. It would have added a little bit more fun to the finals. I enjoyed it. It's not a winner. Once again, he shouldn't have won FiK, but he certainly should have qualified. It was way more, what's the word? Not smooth, but certainly... he knew what he was doing on stage with the backup singers doing the trumpets and trombones moving. He moved around. He looked good. It was fun to me. It was really fun, and I was singing along to the song. I was enjoying it. I was tapping along. So I thought it should at least qualified. So I was bummed out. What about you, Calvin?
I I thought it was going to make it. I know I've probably said that about more than 14 songs now, but I thought it was going to make it, if only because it sounded very of the moment. And I was surprised to see that the jury didn't think this has some hit potential. I thought it might have actually done pretty well at Eurovision with a nice enough revamp, and I'm surprised to see it miss.
So apparently, what I'm hearing and what they're saying in the chat right now, going back to her and a song, they deserved one of my. It was not her fault. The broadcaster messed up. That's why they had the ventriloquist because of the technical difficulties.
The ventriloquist was iconic, and I was very happy to see the ventriloquist.
I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone right now? It was really like, I did not, especially because we were 19 songs into it, and now we have an interval act. And now we have 2 songs to go, but it was really because of technical difficulties. She just tried to keep people entertained, apparently, from what we're hearing. So maybe there was a problem with the backtrack. That
really
makes sense.
Talented.
If that is the case and it wasn't her fault, then I will genuinely apologize for being so harsh on her, because I was very disappointed by that. But if she's back tonight with the real version and it wasn't your fault, I'll take it all back and I'll give you a big hug.
Regardless of who was responsible for making that happen, that it happened and she got through is still a surprise to me.
Yep, that is true. That is true. Then I'm glad. So hopefully she'll then figure it out. And then we talked about Bruno. So that's it. So let's just sum it up, summarize it real quick. We both think, from what I'm hearing, Calvin, that Sony is the
favorite to win.
Favorite to win. And you believe, I think that the one that could potentially snag it still away from them is Layla. That is the one that I feel as, this could come out of nowhere. That is my guess. I'm going to say Sony is going to win. But if it's not her, I think Layla will take it from them. As much as I like it better, Janita, I just don't think this one's going to win tonight. It's going to do well, but it's not make the cut. That's my guess. What do you think? Who's going to win, and who do you think is going to be the dark horse?
I think Sony is not just the favorite, but above 50% to win. And I think if anyone's going to snatch it from her, the two that really have potential for me are Orgesa and Unita. I think Unita could still pull it out. I think people really like her song. It's a nice mix of what FiK has changed, FiK, what FiK has changed, and what it's kept from previous years. So I think it really could win. And you know what? Maybe she can turn me around if she keeps performing it like she's been performing it.
Yes. No, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And just to summarize it real quick, guys, we're going to finish this stream. Ask your questions real quick. We do like 2 minutes of if you want to ask questions at ESC United. Make sure you post that. Can be anything, can be FiK, can be anything else. We will be back after the show. Again, it's probably we have no idea how long the show is going to last. You never know with them. Yeah. Excuse me. But we will be back afterwards to discuss the results. So make sure the link is already on our website. So if you're not subscribed yet, why aren't you? And you see when we go live. But we'll talk about the results and all of that stuff and the show tonight. Yeah. And I think we're ready, right? Are you ready for tonight?
Yeah. Sorry, you're gonna get more of me.
They'll love it.
Yeah.
So Janita has the death spot in the running order personally. She's second, right? At least according to Wikipedia.
Yes,
at least according to Wikipedia, because again, only in Albania is where they may change things up the last minute. So you have to wait and see. But this is where we are.
Yep. So let's know what the reaction video is going to be.
What will the next reaction be? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What
will your next reaction? I think what will your next reaction be?
Oh, my next reaction video. It will probably be I think France or Spain. I will have to see because I've been busy with FiK this week, and so I will start working on probably something tomorrow. But I have to wait and see. Okay, next question. Do you think Artemisa and Phoebe beat Mal result-wise? In Eurovision, could they beat Mal if they were to win Eurovision? Do you think?
Or if they were to win FiK?
FiK, that's what I meant.
If they win FiK, I think it's a weird and tough sell. I love the song, but I think it's just too tough a sell.
Yeah, I don't think that the juries would go for that one. I can see actually a surprising televote success with that song, even with a proper revamp. I can see televoters gravitating towards it. I just don't see juries going all the way into that one, so I don't think it would be a top 10. I could see potentially qualifying from the semis if this were to go to Eurovision, but I think this is as far as it goes in my opinion. But what do I know? Eurovision is so unpredictable, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, what else do we have? Mfrem, what countries do you think have wins brewing? I think Hungary, Armenia, Italy, and Moldova could win. What opinion have wins coming? What do you think is it's going to happen this year? If you're not even knowing the song, but you know the country has the potential. Do you have anyone that really stands out?
I think France are really hungry for a win in a lot of ways, and I think they are sort of figuring out how they're going to do it. I think Latvia have upped the ante in terms of effort recently. I think they could do it at some point soon. I have to wonder if one of the Scandinavian countries could really pull something together this year.
I think that Scandinavia always goes without saying.
I would not be surprised if this year Sweden get a little bit of a wake up call and have a bit of a rough year. But maybe Norway or Denmark.
I could see it happening. I think that Italy will happen eventually, right? Most of the time they do well. They either win the televote, if they don't, or the jury vote. They need to figure out a song that will win both of the groups. Because I see always have songs that appeal to one group, but not the other. Last year it was the televote, not the jury vote. Then the year before, and it's like vice versa, all that stuff. It's always, they need to figure out the right mix there, but they can win. I agree with France. I think France will get their win soon. I think they are on the right track right now, and I would love for them to win. So I think those are the countries that I'm looking out for the most. Two Big Five countries, actually. So we have to wait and see.
Yep.
Okay, what else? ESVL97. First Lithuanian songs are out, in case you're wondering. Oh gosh, another list of songs that I have to listen to. You shouldn't have told me that.
Lithuanian selection was my life last year. I devoted so much of my time
literally
to Lithuanian selection.
I can't do it. I just people see me at Eurovision sitting doing live streams for like 12 hours in a row, and then the Lithuanian national final comes on. I'm like, I can't. I can't. There's only so much I can do.
I enjoyed so many songs from last year's Lithuanian selection. I didn't care for the winner, but I enjoyed a lot of songs in their selection. I'm super excited to hear the Lithuanian songs are out. I'm gonna go check those out. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Oh gosh. So let's see. When I first listened to Layla, I did not like it at all, but then after a few listens, this song grew on me a lot. I see Calvin's camera's jumping around a little bit again. Forgive us. I tried to fix it, but it's an issue with Skype, maybe. I don't know. Well, that's how I feel about Layla. I mean, I liked it, actually, but now I love it. So that is basically agreed. Okay, one final question, then we got to go, because you guys got to get ready for the show.
FiK, yeah.
Do you think
your top hat's ready?
I know. Do you think we'll have a semifinal of death this year again? Like, in case people don't know, semifinal 1 last year was considered the semifinal of death because all of the fan favorites and ultimately also the results favorite ended up in the first semifinal, with a few exceptions, of course, but for the most part, all the strong songs that ended strong in the grand final were in the first semi, and probably a lot of decent songs that could have done somewhat of an impact didn't even qualify. Missed out.
That video of you and Sean and Fernando in the press room after the semi one qualifiers were announced still gives me life to this day.
Really? I'm trying to, because Sean was spot on. He's like, it's going to be Ireland, the last one. It's going to be Ireland. I'm like, are you sure? I can see that happening? And he called it. Yeah. He called Ireland. I'm like, you're crazy. But he was right. But yeah, no, it was the reaction, because it went so fast and you don't even have time to look at the lists. And it was crazy. And you have all these people that still, when you're in the press center, there's so much energy in there that you can't even control yourself, because everyone screams and you see all the delegations doing their thing. And like, oh my God, what's going on? You're trying to look around. And then Bulgaria was right behind us. And it was just, it's emotional, but it's fun. I love that part so much. But yeah, you never know.
But we're going to have 45 minutes of Granny's Kitchen commercials. Don't leave us. You know what? Guichet Millionaire. I'm going to start watching that show.
We live for that. We are like weird. Like,
Guichet Millionaire is my life.
I'm the kind of person, and to that person that complained in the comment section earlier, I don't really complain. It's me and really genuinely celebrating it. It's like, oh my God, I never get to see. I do the same thing in Malta. Like Malta, it's the small countries. Yes, it's like a different culture, right? They have like this. Exactly. There's nothing else to do, so let's have a 5-hour show. It's
45 minutes of ads for Guichet Millionaire.
I know, and we do this long interviews in the green room. You're just like, how many questions can you ask?
Yes.
It's really just like, okay, but it's not because we hate it. I love it.
Because we love it.
We love it. It's our, I guess this is my way of showing love. Tough love? I don't know. That's not even tough love. It's really just...
Yeah, did you know that 4 babies were born in Albania during that entire ad segment before the show last night?
How many people died of boredom, though?
I didn't die of boredom. I lived in life.
Oh gosh, that is too funny. All right, so we're gonna log out for that. Thank you for watching, everyone, and for the great questions. But we will be back tonight.
Yep.
So enjoy the show. Good luck to your favorites, but most importantly, good luck to my favorites.
My favorites.
No, my favorites.
Okay.
And yours as well, of course. Our favorites.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Matt. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to.
You bet. I'm sure you got a new bunch of fans here right now. All right, everyone. Have a good evening. Enjoy the show. And when we come back, we'll have our first song. All right. See you all.
Skirmish top 1 videos.
I know, right? I'm going to have my top 1 video up right away. Oh, gosh, I love it. All right, guys. See you later.
All right. See you later. Bye.